Welcome back, yogis. Rachel here. This video is designed to help you achieve mountain climber and flying splits. These are yoga arm balances, and this is what mountain climber looks like. And flying splits is very similar. The main difference is that your front leg is extended long as opposed to being bent like it is in mountain climber. For both of these, the arms are similar and the activation is similar as well. I'll be speaking to proper alignment, tips and tricks that have helped me, as well as props that you can use to help you achieve these balances. First and foremost, you want to warm up and stretch. I have some other videos that speak to warming up your wrists, your core, your shoulders. Here I'm doing some simple half split variations to begin to open through the back of my legs. But ideally, before you approach this, you've already turned on your core, your shoulders, your wrists. It's very important and it will help you a lot as you approach these balances. What I'm doing here is a lizard variation. It is also serving to open through the back of my legs, but additionally, it helps create that shape of your shoulder or upper arm moving underneath your leg, specifically the leg that is forward. And you'll see how that applies as we move through the video. Here I'm just opening up my chest, opening through my wrists. All of this stuff will come in handy. And at any point, if your wrists start to burn out, feel free to shake them out. Let some of that lactic acid go. Remember to listen to your body. Take what you need. You are your best guide. I am here simply just offering suggestions. And remember to be playful. Don't take yourself so seriously. Mountain climber prep position. From downward facing dog, lift your right leg high. Take your knee towards your right tricep or armpit. Extend it back, three-legged dog, land your foot, other side, left leg reaches, knee towards tricep. I'm pressing into my hands to protract through my shoulders so that my knee can get as high as possible on my arm. Shoulders stack over wrists in mountain climber prep and core is turned on. Alignment is key for achieving arm balances. Here you'll see in my mountain climber prep position, my gaze is forward. I start to bend my elbows back, 90-degree angle-ish, shoulders in line with elbow joints, elbows above wrists, fingers spread wide, root into fingertips and heels of hands. As you do that, your back leg may start to float up towards the ceiling. Practice is key. These arm balances ignite your cerebellum. That is the part of your brain responsible for muscle memory. So the more you do it, the easier it becomes. Props can be wonderful additions to helping achieve these balances. For example, like I'm doing here, you can place a bolster in front of your hands. This gives you a soft surface to support your upper body as you move towards the balance. You don't even have to lift your back foot off. You can work on feeling the shape with the bolster supporting your shoulders. You could do this with a pillow as well. You just want to make sure that it is firm enough to support your shoulders so that they are lifted somewhat in line with your elbow joints. One of the things we want to try to avoid in these balances are the shoulders moving too close to the earth. That tends to happen. So here I've moved the bolster a little bit forward. That was just so that it could support my head instead of my shoulders. Again, aiding towards that fear of falling forward. Okay, now we're getting to some straps and blocks. You can take a strap around your upper arms. Pretty much right above your elbow joints is best. You want to make sure the strap is the length of your shoulders, not too wide, not too tight. Now I'm setting up some blocks so that I can have my shoulders land on them, kind of like we did with the bolster. These cork blocks are pretty supportive. You can also use foam blocks. I like the cork because they're a little bit more firm, but it is very much up to you and what you have available. As you can see, my fingers are about an inch or so away from the blocks. It does depend on what setting you have the blocks on. I like to have them on this middle setting. because it doesn't allow my shoulders to get too low like it would with a low setting, and it doesn't inhibit me from moving towards the balance with them too high. If they're too high, you can not really get the fulcrum, which I'll talk about shortly. And also take a block under your back foot like I've done here. That allows you to lift your back leg up a little bit higher, which will aid to you getting your foot off of the earth, which can be kind of tough as you start off. So this back block can be really helpful. Okay, think about your body like a seesaw. So as your shoulders shift forward, your back foot lifts off. That's what I mean by the fulcrum. Your elbow joint stacking above, or joints stacking above your wrists, become the fulcrum. So as you get more advanced, you won't have to shift your shoulders so close, but typically in the beginning, it can be really helpful. As you can see, I've used a combination of these blocks. So you can have them under your shoulders, you could have just one under your foot, you can have a strap, you can forego the strap. I encourage you to try it a couple different ways, find out what works for you, and remember to be playful, because it's not about having this badass yoga practice. I know many people who have amazing yoga practices and they're still jerks. So please don't think that this makes you a better or worse yogi just because you can do these arm balances. This is simply a fun and playful way to explore the realms of your strength, your balance, your practice. Just like we did with the block under your foot, using a wall can be beneficial. I've adjusted myself a couple times here. In that variation, my knee was a little bit further back and my leg did not get quite as straight. You can see that here. And then I'll kind of just adjust it, shift my knee forward a little bit so that I can start to straighten my back leg a little bit more. So again, play with it. Just see how it shows up. There's no right or wrong, all just different ways of trying it out. Okay, moving towards flying splits. Flying splits takes a lot of hamstring flexibility. I'll also be talking about hurdler's pose. Starting from a runner's lunge, take both of your hands inside of your front foot. Take the hand closest to that leg to your back ankle and wedge your shoulder underneath your knee. The higher up on your tricep towards your armpit, the leg, the easier it will be. Then you'll start to point your foot forward. When the back foot is on the earth, that's a hurdler's pose. When you start to lift both of your legs off the mat, that becomes flying splits. So again, you'll see me here. I step through, kind of a runner's lunge, both arms then inside, grab the back ankle, wedge your shoulder under, extend your front leg. This is hurdlers. The back foot is grounded. You have to wiggle that front foot forward. Elbows draw back. Your tricep is supporting your hamstring. The opposite elbow is drawing in towards your torso. That is going to help you with your foundation. A lot of times what happens in arm balances is that the elbows are flaring out away from the body. You want to keep both of the elbows drawing in. And as you shift your weight forward, the back leg lifts, working towards flying splits. So that's kind of that seesaw mentality that I was telling you about. You saw my shoulders shift forward and my back leg started to lift. Your hands are the roots of this beautiful arm balance that you're working towards. So it is incredibly important that you root into your fingertips and into the heels of your hands. It's also important to root into your knuckles. And you'll hear that a lot from yoga teachers. I notice that my index knuckle kind of lifts up. That works for me. It may not work for everybody. Everybody's different. Literally every body is different. So find out what is going to work for you. These balances can show up a lot of different ways. Okay, so I've used the same props that I used for mountain climber. You see I've got the strap around above my elbow joints. I've got blocks in front of me to support my shoulders. I have a block under my back foot. Very similar to mountain climber. You can pretty much use the same prop setup. So allow yourself to try it out, try it on for size, try different ways of doing things, and remember to be mindful of your wrists. They take a lot of weight as you do arm balancing, so stretch them out. I hope this video has been helpful to get you closer towards your mountain climber and flying splits. Thank you so much for watching, and enjoy the rest of your day.